Hi there, Dr. Gary here on the road. We sell dental practices nationwide. We are dental practice brokers. Today's topic is when you own more than one practice and wish to purchase another dental practice, what do the banks insist on? Or if you want to refinance, what do the banks insist on? We'll get into that. As you know, we now have 10 employees. We're in 25 states, and we're available to you 363 days a year, except Christmas and Easter, so call us. Be happy to chat with you. Our phone number is 201-663-0935, and our website is dentalpracticeguide.com or nationwide dentalpracticebrokers.com. So just call us. Now, everything you're about to hear is for entertainment purposes only, not legal advice. And if you have a large practice, over $1 million grossing and 5 operatories willing to stay on, you may be a DSO candidate, so give us a call. We work with them all the time, and we know who the best ones are, and they will often pay our commission. In addition, any practice we sell over $1 million, we're representing you. We will reimburse your legal fees based on some minor criteria at successful closing. Call us about that. Now, also, in addition, let's get into today's thing. What do the banks want to do? You own one practice, you want to buy another. What do the banks insist on? You've got to do all your loans that you have. Let's say you had one bank, they did your previous loan, and you still have a mortgage with that bank, and now you want to buy a new practice with a second bank. The second bank will insist on refinancing your first loan, redo the whole loan. Now, the hard part is if you had that loan at 3% or something, and now new rates are about 5.5%, somewhere around there. In winter of 2025, they want to refinance everything. The reason they want to be in first position lien on all your practices. So it's very hard. Now, it doesn't mean this is a steadfast rule. Sometimes you can get away with that. Certain banks have flexibility, or financial brokers that could shop different banks. Sometimes they can get away with that with maintaining the first bank's mortgage and lien. But there's a ways around it too. But usually they want you to refinance everything. So that's something to be aware of. Certain banks aren't the best when it comes to your second practice, owning multiple practices. They're very conservative. They sort of stay away from that. You got to be careful with that. Be very careful with that. But they'll want to always refinance. It's big money for them. They get the refinance amount. Although they don't make a tremendous amount of money on the refinance or the initial purchase. It's just they want to be in first position. It protects them. So they'll refinance everything. So be aware of that. The whole thing gets refinanced. And that's generally consistent through the banks in the USA. Now, banks do change. Now, there is a new bank. Not new bank. They've been around for a long time. And they're getting out of the dental business, it looks like. Because I don't see their salesmen. I know one of their top salesmen left. And all the corporate structure, because the bank had some, let's say, issues, and the whole entire CEO team quit, and they replaced everybody. There was a lot of stuff that went on. Well, they were one of the major banks on the East Coast. They went from East Coast to about Texas line, and didn't go beyond the Texas line. But the fact is that they're out of the business now. Pretty remarkable, because they're not pushing. They may say they're still doing it, but we know that they're not only pushing it all. In fact, we know that they're going to be closing a bunch of branches in a few states. Closing branches. Generally, that's not, if you're not in expansion mode, that affects your growth, obviously. But every single bank in certain states, I think New York, New Jersey, somewhere around there, they're closing all the branches, just shutting them down. So they're not as motivated to do dental anymore. So things change. But we do have some major banks we still work with. One of the biggest banks, I particularly don't, and I don't want to get into names and all that. You call me privately to discuss that. One of the biggest banks is doesn't have the infrastructure. They can't put deals together. Just don't have their act together. Don't have it. It's like challenging to work with them. It's very challenging. So we don't really recommend them anymore. We want to get the banks that will go to closing table, and that's important. Go to the closing table. Yes, rates are important, and if you shop rates, you'll always find some bank cheaper, and you just assume, I'll go with the cheapest bank. No, it's not the answer. Like this one that's closing all the branches in the several states. Maybe they had the best rate, but now you're having trouble. Secondly, they can't service your loan well. So there's problems with getting the lowest rate you can. No, and I understand why you want to do that, but there's issues with that. And we're dealing with some of those issues now. So that's pretty much it. They want to refinance everything. This one big bank is closing many, many branches in several states around the New York metro area. And they were a big player in our field. So things do change. You're not going to find the same bank around all the time. So keep your eyes, mind open. You may have to look for finance before ahead of time when things are good. Maybe you establish a credit line while everything's working great for you. You have great credit, practice is doing great and growing, you have equity in it. Maybe that's a great time then to get your credit line set up. Don't wait to do your credit line when you're underwater, you're having some trouble. And you know I'm dealing with disabled dentists all the time. It's like always. So you've got to hope that never happens to you, but I'm dealing with so much of that now. It's just unbelievable. All right, team, going swimming now. We got a beautiful day, a little chilly out. Thanksgiving's coming up. Have a great Thanksgiving. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of these things. And I think I did 4. I think I did 4 of them today. I think I did 4. Okay, bye.